Well, hello everyone. There aren't any other students in class right now, but well, hi Janella. I thought I'd better start talking because people who watch the replay, they'll just be sitting there with nothing happening, so. Oh no. For some reason my live screen isn't showing, and I do not want to show me sitting in my chair eating. I don't know what happened. I'm going to have to work on this camera for this. There we go. Hopefully you're going to be seeing me live now. Guess I better just talk and take my hands off the keyboard. I seem to be flipping things around. Hope you've had a nice week, Janella. Have you been doing any tatting? I always ask that question. I've done very little except for the piece you saw on the entrance screen here. A little small. Huh. Well, let's see. Am I bigger now? I hope I'm bigger now. Whoops. Oh, good. Okay. Wonderful. I've just done a little experimenting today, or the last couple days. That's one of the things I'm hoping to get a lot of it done. Hi, Mary. Great to see you both here today. I've been practicing the spiral stitch. I'd never really done it before, and I love it. And that's what I had the sample on the screen to begin with, and I'll show you that. And I'm definitely going to be using that. I might put it on the outside of the paisley that I'm working on. And let me go down to it and show you. See if I can get my light better. I'm going to pick it up. It really gives a nice, let's get slid on my paper. I was trying to tilt it and get better light. There we go. It's really quite a nice little peaked edging, almost like little triangles sticking up. Have either of you, hi Katia. Great to see you here too, Katia. I was just showing a picture of, there's 3 right in the middle of here, spiral stitches. And I'd like to put that on the outside edging of my paisley I'm working on. One of the things I've realized is I did 3 in a row together. Have any of you worked on tatted the spiral stitch before? It's Jennifer Williams. I did give you a link to it. Let me pull it up. I'm going to set this down. Whoops. You have it, Mary? Okay. Yeah, I hadn't before until I just was thinking about texture and adding more texture in. You did, but not on that pattern. I'm going to flip to the spiral stitch instructions here. Oops, you're seeing a couple other things. Let me... Oh, there's my YouTube. Okay. And this has been on our files for a while. It's really easy to do. I was surprised at how easy it is to do. I can't, hold on a second, I can't seem to get my, there we go. Had something in the way. And I didn't look to see this pattern that she shows here is beautiful. And I haven't looked to see if we have it in our files. I would think so. And it might be up on the site, but I'm not sure. I guess I didn't finish doing my homework for the class today. But notice here, she's put like 2 double stitches after it. It doesn't look like she put any before it, just after it, which is really interesting. It's another, oh, maybe on this one I guess on this one down here, this center left one I can see. Yeah, she did. She put 2 double stitches before and 2 double stitches after she did her spiral stitches. And you can use it on chains. It makes wonderful chains, and that's what I'm going to do to outline my paisley. One of the things that I have realized, though, is whether you make a row of them or do it this way, it's like I don't see a way at the moment to put picots on this. So you would need to figure out a way to get picots. Now maybe it would involve doing a spiral stitch and maybe 3 double stitches or 2 double stitches with a picot in between, and then doing another spiral stitch, and between every one, if that's how often you wanted the picot, you could add 2 double stitches with a picot in between them, so that you can join outside of these if you want to use them inside. I played just a little and I didn't see, there may be another way to put a picot in here, and I'm not sure. That's something somebody would have to experiment with. So rather than trying to demonstrate under my, well, I could try. We tried it last week and I wasn't doing very well at all. And we'll see this week if I can do that. I'm going to go back down to my table. Move everything around to see if this week I can demo it without a problem. I'm going to have to let out some thread on my shuttle here. And to start, I am going to have to start in the center here and get a double stitch or so going. It's a little awkward. I'll get one more done. Try and stay right under the camera here. I guess that looks straight. Okay. So I'll get one more double stitch done here. Give me something to hold on to, since I didn't have a holding device right here to start with. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is you start with a second half over. I think, let me, oh, I didn't bring my printed out page, did I? Did I actually close the entire thing down? Oh, I must have. I'll open it up again so we can go step by step, and my memory might not remember exactly and get the order correctly if I don't. So yeah, make a second half stitch, okay, but don't turn. You're going to go over and under the thread, and what I have found is that the easiest way to do that, I happen to have a shuttle that doesn't have a pick or anything on it, which makes it easy for me. Because you've got to do your rolls upward, I found it was very awkward after the first one. I'm going to do an over under, flip the first one. I'm sorry, I don't flip it yet. I've got to get the I've got to get the rolls in first. If you do the regular over under, I found that when I go to do the next ones, we're not doing them inside of here, we're doing them outside, that this upper thread here that's on my shuttle was getting in the way. And so what I found was that if I turned my shuttle so the thread was coming out towards me on the front, it was much easier to get those next two. Maybe I'm thinking of the roll tatting, I'm sorry. To the left of the, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of roll tatting. We do want to make these to the left. They are going inside. Let me loosen this up again. Get this in order. We are going inside, so we do one, and we do a second one, and we do a third one. Always the second half over and through the loop. Now I've got the three on there. And I am going to pull it down a little just to get it closer. You're going to flip them, so you have to let loose, and I tugged it to flip them. Something, I must have held this wrong. And I hope I'm getting this right. I see what's happening. So I've got to move close to the double stitch now. And now the next step, it says to keep going until the thread spirals around the core thread. Work a double stitch to hold the spiral stitch in place. So that's so after I do that, I just work a regular double stitch after it. And this is the look you get. And it's not till you start putting a couple together that you start getting the triangle-y look. So I'm going to do another one. Over. The half stitch. I forgot. Okay. There's my half stitch going in. Now I'm going to do my, whoops, I flipped it before doing it, my 3 over, under and through the rings, and now I flipped it, and you can see how when you flip it, you've got 2 plus the, top thread coming out. So that's what it looks like as you're moving it over. Slide it over, tighten it back up, and do a full double stitch after it. So now I've got 2 of them, and you can start to see where it goes up this side and it's coming down the left side. And I gotta look and see if you've got any questions. Get back to my, hold on just a second. I gotta find my live stream again here. Must be down there. There we go. Okay, no questions or comments yet. And am I doing it the way you've done it before, Katia? Although I know you must have used the needle, so that would be different anyway. Okay, I'm going to do one more here. I'm going to do the second half stitch is how you start it. And that is flipped. I don't know if I flipped it last time. Then I'm going to do 2, 3 times over. Sometimes I have to give a little pop, so you see me moving around a lot to get it to pop, and I might have knotted it. Can you see here what's happening? because whoops, you can't, can you? Can you see my thread at the top here? This one? Look how the threads are separating. And this is on my chain thread. So, and I'm finding part of it is because I'm using the size 3. Part of it is, yeah, you can really see it right up there, the one thread that's split. And it might not happen so much on a smaller thread, a finer thread, I don't know. So what I would recommend is every time you start a new stitch, make sure that your chain thread has not unwound some. It's kind of like drop your shuttle time. And if you have to, twist your shuttle a little so it tightens up the threads on this working thread before you go into it. Then you won't get the split threads like I have here. And that's about the only thing that I found that is a really, any kind of a problem with doing this. I'm going to tighten this back up now. Whoops. And there I have another one. See, now it's starting to form the up-down and the up-down. So that is the spiral stitch. And it really is. It's thicker. It's like a padded stitch. And it's great for an outside edge. And I'm wondering even what I'm going to try next time is in between the spiral stitches, see if I can make a down picot in there. Hi, Kathleen. Welcome. I'm going to see if I can make a down picot in there somehow. If you do anything on the top for top picot, unless you're adding in 2 double stitches or more, where you can put picots on and do that in between your spiral knots, anything else would ruin the top edge of the spiral knot to try and get a picot up there. So I'm thinking down picots might work. And if you're doing it on the outside, maybe there's your previous row that you're doing. You can do a either reverse stitches facing downwards in a picot, or you could hold the down picot, and you can, as you're going here and there, you can attach it where you need to on your previous work on the round or row below. The other thing to notice is when you do this stitch, your thread, your working thread, ends up here at the beginning of the stitch rather than over here at the end. So when you put your next stitch in, your working thread is coming over the top to get to the spot where you're doing your double stitch, so that double stitch actually, see here, it's coming from the top there and going over the top of the 2 wraps around the base there. And that's what actually finishes forming the entire stitch, is that next, it's not a next double stitch, the ending double stitch. And now you can see I've got a couple nice little, they're not quite points, they're scallops, I guess I'd call them. So this is one of the stitches, and after, remember the next 2 weeks we're off for the U.S. Thanksgiving holidays, and for all of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And afterwards, we're going to start talking about a lot of padded stitches, which are ways you can get texture. You get a look of texture because of visual texture because it's thicker, and if you're holding your piece, you've obviously got physical texture also. And physical texture makes me think. A while back, a few weeks ago, Tammy and I were talking about the lap quilts that are made for people who maybe have dementia or need what do I want to say? Stimulation from the feel of things. Like they make those lap quilts, and I can't think of the right word, that are the kind you can rub your hand over. They have a name, and feel all the different textures and patterns on there. And I'm thinking a stitch like this would be nice because you do get that bumpy texture. And if you do it, like say you did 5 in a row, you'd have that thick texture, and then you can start creating a pattern maybe by doing 5 of the spiral knots in a row, and maybe 5 or 10 double stitches. Then do another section of the spiral stitches, and that'll give you a nice alternating pattern. Repetition includes not just the repeating of things, but if you repeat it in a consistent manner, alternate it with something, you can get a pattern. Just like if you alternate the size and spaces of different colored lines on a fabric, and then you're going to cross over, we get a plaid pattern. So I'm talking here about a pattern of things, not a written pattern for a design. But pattern is one of the elements of design. The elements include pattern, repetition, repetition and pattern. You have repetition first, and you repeat it in a consistent manner and alternate it with other things, and you get patterns. And so we're going to be talking about different things, the way we can get patterns, visual patterns, physical texture patterns, and padded stitches between Christmas and at the end of this break, those couple classes before the holiday break, the winter break or Christmas break, whatever you celebrate. So are there any questions on that? But this just has intrigued me. I really love this stitch. Would like to see. Oh, on my one that I did before, the other thing I did is, this is an interesting piece. It's a piece I was working before of things, and then I've got a folded ring that I use for our folded ring class, and then I just kept going and am adding on this section. Notice how these first 3 that I did, 1, 2, 3, are taller than the next 3. They still have some texture to them. What I did is to finish off the spiral stitch, instead of an entire double stitch, I did just a second half stitch. And I got smaller little knots, which was interesting. And so, for kind of like a challenge or homework over the vacation, start working with some padded stitches. Try working with different stitches, something you haven't done before. I think this one, and notice how this is curving. I put some regular stitches on the end too, and I don't even know what I was experimenting with on the very end. But notice that this is flexible. It's more flexible than a chain, and I think that's because it's got the deep little space in between the knots, which makes it more flexible. So you can really use this as a curved chain. It still keeps the curve. Any ideas about this? What you might think you'd use it for or do with it? And they can go in your sample book if you haven't done one before. I'm quite sure Tammy did a class on the spiral knot stitch. So you can look for that too. Okay, another thing we're going to look at today is, let me pull it up here again, padded stitches. Oh, it does look like a dragon's back. Yes, that would be perfect. I like that idea. And I don't think there's a whole lot of dragon patterns out there. So it's always something to keep in your mind. How many of that particular idea are out there? I know that there's the little flying dragon. I think it's Anne Ruthold's design. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. And does Martha S. maybe have one? I don't know. I haven't, it's been a long time since I've looked into dragons, so I don't know how many. But that's a perfect stitch. Thank you, Kathleen. Okay, I want you to go look at the padded lines, the tips around the home padded lines. Moose Can again has done a whole study on these. And they're beautiful pictures. And here you notice she's got the vapor stitch. I have not tried the vapor stitch. I love the way it looks, but I did give you a link to it. And that is the flickr.com Nanetta Caruso. Oh, shoot, I forgot to go to my computer screen. Let me first pull up and show you what I had up there. Moose Cans. Notice her whole post on a lumpy line, spiral knot stitch. She's got all kinds of padding stitches on here. And here's the vapor stitch. She is showing that. But I do think that, yeah, she's got Nanetta Caruso in parentheses after the vapor strip. I was quite sure it was Nanetta who developed this technique. And here's her page. And this one I haven't done. I haven't worked with it. They're all the similar type thing of padding, of putting extra wraps and going around parts of the double stitch more than once. And I'm going to zoom way in on this. And notice this one especially, and the picture on the bottom where she's shown them. Oh shoot, my mouse is doing funny things. On the very bottom, she looks like she's got them intertwined in some way. And that, to me, looks like number 6 on the bottom. Oops, I thought I'd get it up, but I didn't. Number 6 on the bottom looks to me almost like a square Celtic knot. And that would work really well in some as a design element in things. So work on trying some of these padded stitches. See what you learn about them. Read through Mooskin's entire article. If you have 5 minutes, just sit down and read a paragraph or two, or read about one of the stitches. One of the things as a designer that you have to have is a good knowledge of tatting and of the techniques, so that when you have a pattern that needs something in a certain spot, or needs to be a simple pattern that you want to be more original, this is a wonderful way to get more originality in your patterns. Oh, they are, Katia. They are amazing. Oh, you need to figure, that'd be wonderful to teach that in your class after Chris. Let's see. I know we're supposed to start with beginning things again at the beginning, at least for now, but that's a great technique to put into your needle class. I think students would love that if you can make that with the needle. And this is what we need more patterns of. A lot of people don't even know these stitches, and I don't know some of them until I try them. Like I'd heard about the vapor before, but I'd never tried it myself. And those are the techniques that we need more patterns that include them, so students can learn, and so tatters all over the world can learn new things and enjoy new patterns. I think that's where I see a lot of the future in designing, is really bringing some of these wonderful newer stitches into patterns. And sometimes you do have to in words explain how they're doing it. And actually, techniques cannot, they're not like a pattern. They can't be copyrighted. I'm not familiar with patents or anything to know if that's something, but I know it's not like copyright. So you can, in your own words, tell them how to do the stitch. What I feel to give credit to people, you can put in parentheses developed by so-and-so. The problem is some of these things are revived techniques, so you don't know. So there is a little bit of a tightrope to walk there to figure out what you can and can't do. So, and we'll talk about that as we go. Oh, I see right now you're seeing something else on my screen. And there's a question on this. This is, we're going to talk about the folded ring. And, whoops, I closed that one. I have to see what other ones I have up here. I have that big. Okay. I wanted the other one first. Here we go. Now this is a sample that Tasneem did. Tasneem. And she's done, she just turned her work like we were talking about last week. She reversed work and switched shuttles, which is another interesting way to use reverse work, because She reverse work and switch shuttles to give her the other second color. I love these colors. I love a lot of things. Colors, techniques. I get excited about a lot of them, and hopefully my excitement for these will spread over to you. But at the end, she put the folded ring. And it looks really nice. But she had a question about it, and I don't know the answer. So if any of you want to work with something too, and I'm going to work with it over the break. And here's her big picture of it. And what she asked was, oh, where'd it go? Here it is. She said she read the document, Martha's document on the folded ring, and tried making a paisley ring. Also folded, oops, as you demonstrated. However, I'm a bit confused how to take the working shuttle on the other side after the reverse work when we are not switching shuttles. And I can see what she means, I believe. At the base of your ring, just like making any ring, you've got your two threads. And here in this photo, she's got both the she's cut the ends off. But if she'd been tanning this, she would have had the two ends probably hooked to a shuttle, although one of them, the pink might be a shuttle and the white might be a ring. Not a ring. Coming from a ball. Or it could be on a second shuttle. And I think what she's talking about is how you go on from there without switching shuttles. And I'm not exactly sure. I haven't tried it. So I don't know if you would just bring, you wouldn't want to bring anything across the front, I wouldn't think, but maybe. I'd have to look and really study. This is a question I don't have answered yet, but play with it. See what you find out. If you like the folded ring. I'm trying to think of where that white one exactly came out. There wouldn't be a way to bring both of them across because then you just have a loose, both of them would be loose in the back, if I'm thinking right. It might be bringing, if I was doing in these colors, I think I would bring the white one over the front so it just blends in with the first half of that very first double stitch. I don't know how that would look, and I'd bring the red across the bottom so it would be on the back side. But this is a question that's really interesting. And to me, the switching shuttles part would depend upon what color you wanted to continue with. Now, whether some kind of a half stitch or anything needs to be put in there, I really don't know. If anyone has the answers to that, that would be great. Oh, an SLT. All of a sudden my brain is saying, I know what it is. It's on the tip of my tongue. But I can't get it to come out of my mind. Oh, shoelace trick. Yeah, shoelace trick might work too, yes. And depending upon your design, you could run across this. Thanks, Katia. Yeah. My brain's just working slow today. Thanks, Janella. So that's a lot of different things you can think about in designing. I just found a piece that I think I've showed you before. And I'm thinking, I think of different things. This happened to be on my table. And I'm thinking, I think of different things. And I'm thinking happened to be my table. That may be how I start out the center. It's a piece I love, and I'm thinking that may be how I start out the center of one of my. Oh, I get that. When I got up this morning, I think we were 24 degrees. Oh, I get that. We have nice sunshine. I think we were 24 degrees. In the sunshine. Because we're up so high. We have nice sunshiny, and being Colorado, we're so close to the sun, because we're up so high, and our air is so dry. So we have closer to the sun, and it warms up faster, and our air is so dry. So we have made it up to 61 luckily, I'm not feeling cold. But I'm looking at this and thinking. Luckily, I'm not feeling cold. I wonder what I'm looking at this and thinking. If I did a knot stitch right in the center there, it would look like if I did a knot stitch and right in the center there, chained above chain, either right next to each other, and then loop above and put another chained above chain, either right next to each other or loop above and put another knot stitch in there. Knot stitches, and how can I do this? I don't know. But I'm thinking knot stitches, and how can I do this? Oh, I forgot to. Yes, I'm too close. I'm so close to my. I forgot to. Down camera. Yes, I'm too close. I'm also so close to my. That's what happened. Down camera. I turned off my computer. I turned off my computer audio now, so you just should hear one. But I turned off for letting me know. I turned off my computer audio now, so you just should hear one. Hopefully that's. Thanks for letting me know. Are there any other questions for today? This is kind of a short class going into the holiday. Are there any other questions for today? I think you have a lot to think about. This is kind of a short class going into the holiday. See what you can work into a Paisley. I think you have a lot to think about. Other design. See what you can work into a Paisley. When you're out any other design. Notice having 2 weeks off clothing that people are wearing and the designs in there. Notice try and pick up ideas that people are wearing and the designs in there. I'm gonna try and pick up ideas. Put my face back on. I'm gonna unplug my down camera. Use it. So hopefully now you can hear me. So just start writing down. Keep a small piece of paper in your purse if you have a teeny tiny notebook, or around the house. Keep some paper on your counter. And as ideas and thoughts come to you, just put them on the paper. And then maybe at the end of 2 weeks, you'll have some things that'll go together. Because again, it's all associations. It is better, good. Another thing, we've only got a couple classes, so I might start talking about simple combinations of color while we're talking about padded stitches. And then at the beginning of the year, although I'll be starting, what happens is there's always a lot of students that come in or that register in the online classes, and some of them would be, if they're a design student, who we have quite a few people who watch the replays and keep up on the design class that way. And so we're kind of supposed to start, well, not kind of, because of the new people every semester, it works well to start at the beginning for those new people. Oh, I'm glad you thought it was interesting on stitches. Yes. And stitches are so important because you can really add interest in a design with different stitches. It adds to the originality of a design. Um, and I don't know what more. I'm sure there's other things that I'm not thinking about. But we will continue to talk about padded stitches and texture. And I want to start adding in some color, and maybe I'll be able to continue that in the beginning also while we're going through some very interesting. That's spell check and typing typos for you. Very interesting. Thank you. I know it's very interesting, Janella. I understand it totally. So have fun. Enjoy your time off, whether it's you have time to tat and design or have celebrate with family or whatever you're doing, whatever you're busy doing. Find a few minutes to relax, rest your mind. We've got a lot of busy times coming up. And unless you're one of the people that tatting isn't relaxing for you, um, oh, no problem. I don't mind typos at all. I had to, it made me laugh, that one, the way it came out. So, and that's a good thing. Oh, so don't be sorry about a typo. Um, so anyway, that's it for today. I'm looking forward to 2 weeks of playing around with my tatting techniques, and I'm probably, I don't know yet, going to get together with a family. It always depends on what my sons and his wife and what he's doing this year with family. You're welcome, Katia, and thank you for being a wonderful student at the same time you're busy teaching. So I love having you all here. Have a nice 2 weeks. Bye bye for now.